Hello and welcome to Reminiscences with Senator Abdullahi Adamu. He is, as many of us know, a veteran politician who, since he became the Secretary of the National Party of Nigeria in the Plateau State, has been in the thick of politics. He was the secretary of the party since 1978 and chairman in the Plateau. He later on became a minister in the government of General Sani Abacha, I believe Minister of Works and Housing, and then contested to become the first civilian governor of Nasarawa State, which was newly created. After serving 2 terms as governor, he was the secretary of the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party before he now returned to the Senate again for 2 terms, and 3 terms, which has corrected me. And then, as you know, very recently became the chairman of the ruling All Progressive Congress, from which he has left only very recently. So Senator and Turakin Kefi, I should add, I'd like to welcome you to the program.
Thank you very much.
And to basically start with your life in Kefi here, I believe.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to talk with you. I was born in Kefi here on July the 23rd, 1946. And I started a normal life of any northern child in this part of the country. I started by Quranic school, usual. And at the age of 7, enrolled in Abduzanga, a primary school. After 4 years in Abduzanga primary school, I proceeded to, after the common entrance examination, to Lamenga Senior Primary School, which used to be then the middle school, part of the country. And I left Lamenga in 1959 and went to government college, Makadi. I left after only 3 years there to go to government technical college, Bukuru in Jos. I served for my city and guilds of London in 1965 and succeeded. In those days, getting a job was not a headache. I was one of the students who were privileged to get employed while in school, just after finishing exams, after getting the results of our examination.
Before we go to employment, can you give us an insight? How was it going from Kefi to Makadi then, as a young man?
Well, what we used to do then, on the eve of resumption in school, our parents would take us from Kefi here to Gudi, where we have the nearest railway station. It was easier going by rail than going by road at the time. And normally the train will come around 12 or maybe 11:30, and then we off to Makadi.
So was it difficult to adjust to life in Makadi? It's a different culture and environment.
Well, Makadi then, Makadi has a very funny transformation. Makadi, ordinarily, once you hear Makadi, the first that comes to your mind is a thief town.
Yes.
When we were there, it wasn't so much of a thief town. Yes, thieves were inhabitants, mostly, around Makadi.
In the villages.
In the villages, surrounding Makadi. But the heart of the town were inhabited by tribes from different parts of northern Nigeria at the time. In fact,
So you adjusted very well.
absolutely, there was no difficulty whatsoever.
Yes. So from Ukuru, when you finished secondary school, you said you straight went to employment.
Technical college. I went on. I had an employment. I had options. I had the time because I read engineering as well, electrical installation work.
Yes.
I had options to go to either the NTC in Zaria, or to go to
Nigerian Tobacco Company.
Tobacco Company in Zaria, or to go to Kaduna Textiles, which is the first textile, in northern Nigeria, in Kaduna. Right. So I opted to go to Kaduna Textiles.
Right. Yes, I believe you quickly also went back to school to Kaduna Polytechnic.
Yes.
Was it from that job into the textile job or much later?
I was employed in Nigeria in the Kaduna Textiles when I got the offer to do a diploma in Kaduna Polytechnic.
One thing about your going to Kaduna Poly there, that period of your life, is that's when you probably started a bit of politics. You became the president of the student union.
Yeah, what one will find most interesting is the fact that all through my life, as long as I can remember, I was what you may call today a busybody for good.
Okay.
I from primary school, senior primary school, which happened to be boarding at the time, I went to senior primary school Laminga in 1957. And no sooner than we got there, we had little organizations like debating society, dancing club, photography, young farmers club, that kind of stuff, drama club, all that kind of stuff. And I found myself taking interest in most of this. And at the risk of sounding immodest, most of my participation in these clubs that I identified with, somehow I got involved with his leadership at that level.
So that's probably your first test of contest and
yeah, absolutely,
politics.
absolutely.
It's noticeable that when you finish the ordinary diploma and later HND, or higher national diploma, you spend quite some time in the private sector. Unlike people of that generation that would turn into government and civil service. You were working in a construction company.
I started with NEPA, under the Polytechnic, yes. Right. What used to be ECN.
That's right.
Yes.
So, and then you moved to this construction
I moved to Northern Nigeria Development Company, NNDC.
Yes.
The properties department.
Right.
Yes.
And then you are in a consultancy, which
that's
is
right. I had a vegetable group,
right.
Northern Nigeria.
Now, how was it? How rewarding was it being in the private sector then? Working for money.
Well, honestly, because I never had a stint with the civil service, solicitor. Yeah. I never did. And so I grew to know only the private sector. It gave you challenges. It gave you tasks for any job that is placed on your shoulders. And you are expected to produce the desired result. They didn't brook excuses.
But what tempted you to accept the job in the plateau?
Fine. That was the executive secretary of BEPCO, Benue Plateau Construction Company.
Construction.
Now what happened was, this was during the regime of Murtala Mohammed, of blessed memory. After Murtala's coup, there were agitation in several parts of the country for the creation of more states. And Plateau was not an exception. Benue Plateau as it was then. So I got motivated because as a student, we used to go to Blato to see Gomwok, Joseph Gomwok, who was then governor of Benue Plateau State. So somehow I had an agitation. I got a feeling I wanted to go and talk on behalf of my people. Nobody elected me to do that. Nobody said to me, come and go to some place. I decided to go to Plateau. When the Rikife panel on creation of states, when I got the date they were visiting Plateau State, and Benue Plateau State to Jos, I decided to make myself present, and I did apply to the Secretariat. I wanted to present a memorandum for the creation of states.
You wanted the creation of Plateau at that point?
No.
Okay.
Incidentally, mine was different. I wanted Benue Plateau State to stay as it was.
Oh, I see. I see.
And the reason being, there was so much hues and cries from people of Plateau predominantly at the time. They were talking of domination of Benue people. And so at the time, we were from Benue. This is what we used to call Kefi. Lafia, that's what I used to call northern Plateau or Lower Benue, or Benue Plateau at the time. But we were part and parcel of Benue province, created in 1925. So I managed to get some basic statistics from government sources as to scholarship, as to position permanent secretary, as for senior civil servants in Benue Plateau, who came from what, not necessarily by name, but in terms of the numerical placement. And Plateau, former Plateau province, had the highest in each of these indices. And they were the ones complaining. So I felt there was no justification in their agitation.
So you presented a memo?
So I presented a memo in that regard. I submitted the statistics.
Yes. When the 1977 Constitutional Assembly came, you went there. You dated actually as the beginning of your active politics.
Yes, I was elected, yeah.
How come from permanent secretary, you now suddenly found yourself in that kind of thing?
Yes, what happened was I was in Jos. In fact, I was preparing to go for a graduate program in the UK. I was going for Foundations of Administration program. Somehow, some elderly people came from Kefi to Jos. This was in the course of the work of the 49 wise men who are drafting the Constitution. They came to my house. One of them was my uncle-in-law. The other was my headmaster at senior primary school. And the third, my teacher, the primary school. 3 of them came and purported to be representing elders in Kefi. That was the beauty of politics then. There is going to be this thing called Constitutional Assembly, and people are going to be elected to go and discuss the draft constitution. Now, after considering, the resources available to us in Kefi, they told me, we decided that you should come and contest that election. Represent us.
But I must say that whenever the ordinary Nigerian hears politicians say, it is my people that came and called me, people get a bit suspicious.
It used to be the order of the day.
I see.
And this one, I tell you this in my honor. These guys came, there was no consultation with me. The only thing I came to find out later was the fact that they had been following my activities. They followed me through my student unionism. They followed me through my other activities, like the presentation of memo during the Erikife panel in Jos, and how I stood up for what I believed in. And I made my point in the face of threats and what have you. I kept to discover that they had some iota, so little information what I was doing, and they believed that if I could do so, there's somebody who would do that kind of thing in Lagos.
Yes. Were you going home to Kefi when you are in Jos? Or
Coming to
community?
Kefi, then my father was alive.
Yes.
My mother was alive. And any little opening I had before even going to Jos while I was still in Kaduna,
Yes.
any little opening I have, I come home.
Yes.
To the extent that I come even during weekends sometimes to see my people, to see particularly the elderly ones and whatever. So
they were in touch with you?
They were, and I was also in touch
now,
with them.
the Constitutional Assembly, it was called, drafted or approved the 1979 Constitution, and parties were formed. That's when you were in MPN. You joined the movement, the group that became MPN.
National Movement Nigeria.
National Movement. You became the secretary in Plateau, and later on chairman.
Yes.
Of course, you didn't win. Another party won in the Plateau, so you are in kind of opposition in the Plateau.
When we started in 1979, I was secretary, like you rightly said. We lost the election to NPP.
Right.
And that loss of election precipitated a crisis in the party. And somehow party members requested or started agitation that the executive committee of the party then should be dissolved. Now, there are such strong forces then, very strong forces in Plateau, MPN politics. People like Saleh Hassan of blessed memory, he was the chairman. And Isaac Ibrahim is now in Abuja. Late Saleh Jumbo of blessed memory. Hassan Mohammed from Kefi here. He was Minister of State for Foreign Affairs. These guys,
they're very senior politicians.
They're very senior politicians, and I don't know their age group.
No,
and they believed that I was too stubborn, so to say, and they won't have their way with me. And they were the ones that they constituted the court of late President Shagari.
So did you contest against Ali Hassan?
No. What happened now is they brought, who was it I contested against? Anyway, they brought another candidate. And it was virtually like a walkover.
Now that era of the MPN, of course, you became chairman, but people say that was the MPN machine there.
Well, you see, every party had a machine. Every party had a machine.
To the coup. Maybe that success was problematic afterwards.
Well, I wouldn't say that was that victory in Plateau State was the trigger necessarily.
But in Southwest.
But there was so much noise about the fact that some generals were saying something like, well, there was a landslide, there will also be a gunslide.
But the gunslide did happen.
The gunslide did happen because it's exactly those. You see, the one thing about Nigerian politics, if you permit, is this: no matter what you do, like any country in the world, politics is about human beings. Political leaders are human beings. They have relations, they have friends, they have schoolmates, they have whatever. You bind them with some other parties in the military, in the police, all right? And sometimes the anger in the political arena rubs in these institutions. And each time they come, they say, okay, because of bad governance.
What makes one a good politician, this tolerance of people and knowing how to deal with it?
Well, I think, Malan Kabir, the take-off point is the fact that every human being is a political animal. I think some philosophers before us have said this, and it's one of the things that nobody has challenged this far. we all have got this instinct to express ourselves, this instinct to know, understand why certain things are happening. And also, once you get that kind of frame of mind, you want, if you are the type, want to express it. You want to say, yes, this is happening, and you like it the way it's happening. Or, yes, this is happening, you don't like the way it's happening. And if you are good enough, you even proceed to say you would have preferred if A, B, C, D would be done instead of so.
Even though you still remain a politician, when the Abacha Constitutional Conference came, you again went there to serve.
Yes.
How come from there you also became a minister? You earlier said this kind of thing is not the what you want.
Yes.
Somebody appointing you minister,
You
but
know,
you accepted to be.
Yeah. You know, the thing with life, Malan Kabiru, is as you grow, like say, as you grow, you get wiser.
Yeah.
As you grow, you get to be on the path of realism. And then as you grow, you also get a body of people who care. And what you do, what happened to you. And by this time, you know, when I got invited, in fact, I went to the Constitution Review Committee. We were in process. I'll never forget, I was saying my Maghrib prayer in Apple Legislative Quarters.
Right.
When people heard about it, just had a bang on my door, back. So I was praying, so they waited. I said, congratulations. So
you are not consulted?
No, did I look for it? Your name must be announced as minister.
But you took it, and how was the experience?
I accepted it. Well, it was challenging, but I had a very rough time with it, though.
Yes, with your senior minister.
Exactly.
The story is there, but you didn't quite mention who it was.
It was Abdullahi Adamu, late General Abdullahi Adamu.
You had a running battle with him.
Oh, yeah. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Yes. So, somehow, I saw the good part of it, there's no doubt about it. And I saw one part of it which I just don't know what to make of it. Except to say that sometimes we behave like the ancient Greeks. Once you are in a position, whatever you say is yeah. Everybody says yes.
Is it the military culture? Because this gentleman
it may. I'm saying generally. That's what I experienced.
Okay.
And I see that till this moment I'm talking to you.
Even in civilian administration?
Absolutely. We like to say yes to the authority.
But when you became governor yourself, which is a few years later, the first governor of Nasarawa State.
Yes.
Will people say that you did the same, that you are the alpha and omega of Nasarawa?
Unfortunately, I will not be a judge in my own court. Otherwise, I will say in good conscience,
yes,
I tried to do just that. I tried to be with the people. I tried to do what the people wanted. I tried to do so through consultation with them.
You had a quality cabinet.
I tried to also know that whatever I want to do, whatever I think I am, there are people in the society that I'm ruling who are older than me, who are more experienced in governance than me, but God chose me to be on. So I always have a place to fall to for advice.
What of your commissioners, people working with you or under you?
It may interest you. In my commissioners, I divided into 3 categories.
Yes.
I had about a third of the commissioners
young
who were older than me. About a third, quite a third, but just about a third. A third, my peers, and a third junior to me. I did this to get the benefit of these tiers of society. All right. But No matter what you do, what is inherent in a democratic dispensation is people accuse you rightly or wrongly.
Yeah.
It's part of the menu.
Yeah.
And you have to have stomach for it.
Yeah. But is the perception wrong, which is common to, we have it all, that governors of states have become like teen gods? It's what they want. They award all the contracts. Yeah. Even the assembly, unlike the National Assembly, is too weak to challenge them. You have been, we're coming to that, you've been chairman of a national party. Yeah. Is it a wrong perception really?
It is not too wrong. It is not too wrong. And one will be dishonest to dismiss it.
Yeah.
It happens. Again, one bad egg spoils the broth, they say.
Yes.
There can be one or two very, very bad governors in terms of their style of administration, in terms of lack of consultation completely, in terms of handling budget implementation as if it is just a one-man show and that kind of stuff. Yes, we may have one or two governors who do that. And you may have 10, 20 good ones.
Yeah.
But these bad ones, their stories go, wider. And therefore it becomes, beg your pardon, it becomes the general view, perception that all governors are bad. I tell you, when I was in the National Assembly, we tried to take some steps when I was a senator to see if we can empower local government. They are in the Constitution.
Yeah.
Their position in the Constitution is very clear.
Yeah.
Somehow, they are made not to work, unfortunately.
Yeah. But to be fair, let's go back to your tenure in Nasarawa. 8 years. Yeah. What will you say are the highlights? What you are most proud of? I don't want to say it myself.
All right. I'll tell you this. One, my preoccupation in life is education. Because God has plans for me to be what I have become in life. And the same God made it possible for me to get education, to get educated. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have been. Yeah. So education is my priority.
Yeah.
On setting our government machinery working, I started from the primary schools. I introduced more primary schools. I increased the facilities available to all the existing primary schools that I inherited. And I took a law to the State Assembly, a bill to the State Assembly, in which parents that didn't take their children to school will be penalized. I made education free while I was there. Then, for these children go to primary school qualifying, they want to go further. So I went to the to secondary schools. I established more secondary schools. I established secondary schools for women, specifically. And for secondary schools, science only. And I spread them in the senatorial district as much as possible. Then I went to tertiary level. I set up a school of nursing and midwifery, live. I set up college of, what do you call it, College of Agriculture. No, sorry, I inherited that. That was one, the tertiary College of Agriculture and College of Education I inherited. But then I took steps to introduce essential requirements that were missing in these institutions. Then I set up the Polytechnic in Lafia. I set up the university in Kefi here.
Why do governors, after finishing their tenure, want to go back to what seems to me like a lower position. And in your own case, you went to the Senate and spent another 12 years there.
Well, honestly, there is this thing that is in every human being. If you are lucky with life to enjoy good health, and you start a career, in this case called politics. For me, for information, for me, politics is not a profession, it's not a calling for me. But you go into it. Somehow, depending on the depth of your commitment, you never feel you have accomplished. I use myself as an example. After my 8 years, during my 7th year, I attempted to run for the presidency. As governor,
yes,
I attempted to run for the presidency of this country.
Yes.
I didn't succeed.
Why was that? You are the governor. You are the chairman of the governors forum.
Absolutely.
No, at the time,
because of my wanting to contest for president, I had to step down. And the person who
chairman of the governors
forum, and the person who succeeded me also ended up wanting to be president, so he also had to step down. Now, but the story as to why I didn't continue with my contest, 2 days to the convention, I withdrew.
You withdrew? I
withdrew 2 days to the convention. I would not, this program would not allow go into it as I would wish to.
No, but Obasanjo chose Yar'Adua. We know that. Obasanjo favored Yar'Adua.
You know,
who was the least ambitious among the governors.
You know, somehow Obasanjo called me way back in 2005.
Right.
On the 31st of May,
right.
I never forget,
yeah.
He called me. I was in Lafayette, called me on telephone, and unknown to me, he had called Governor Peter Odili of Rivers State. And I think the time is long enough for me to make this disclosure.
Yes.
He said to us, I got there before Odili, and I said, well, I asked to wait in his waiting room. So Odili arrived almost 5 minutes after me, and they called us in, changed pleasantries. And he said something like, well, you know, I know it with the best of friends. And we naturally would say, yes. He said, well, you know, I'm in my second term now, midway my second term. We said, yes. I have to start thinking of who succeeds me. So we looked at ourselves and I sat properly. He said, I'm going to tell you that I believe you can work together. And you should start planning how you work together. But leave this to yourselves.
Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody. You know, I'm from the South, he continued.
Yes.
And I'm a Christian. There's no way I will get my fellow Southerner to succeed me. Nor will I encourage a Christian to succeed me. I'm sure you understand it. Yes, we do. So that's my trust. Don't tell anybody. But start working together.
2005.
2005, May 21st.
So why did it change then? Why did it
well, to be honest with you, Obasanjo is alive.
Yes.
And I know your capacity. You can interview him. I think the period is long enough now for one to go public.
I will try.
Yeah. And we thanked him. And within a short period after that, you know, I've been sent, you know, missions to the
So you started working?
I thought, preparing, yes. We went to Lagos, I went to Accra, Nkrumah Memorial, something, and I delivered a lecture there and the rest of it. At the same time, Nigeria was looking for a seat on the Security Council. I prepared a memo for it and for my presentation there, and it was, at the time, not many governments had what they call websites.
Yeah.
I had a website established and the rest of it.
But did he have any other interaction with you later to say, look,
he didn't.
Maybe things have changed?
Ambassador did not talk to any one of us about it.
Were you very disappointed
until a Thursday, I think, or Wednesday before the convention in Abuja. I went to Abuja. I was coming back to Lafia. My phone rang and I picked it. Abdullahi, Your Excellency, where are you?
This is the Thursday before the convention.
Thursday, 2 days before the convention. Where are you? I said, on my way to Lafia. From where? From Abuja. How far are you from Abuja? I said, well, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I said, well, if you can come 30 minutes, 20 minutes time, meet me in my office. I said, okay. So I went. I came back, went straight. As I was entering, as I sat down there waiting, I saw Odili coming out of his consulting room. The face wasn't the good face I like to see.
He didn't look happy.
I didn't look happy. So I went, shook hands with him. I said, how? I said, no, when you come out, we talk. I said, fine. I went in, and then typical Baba was swinging his head from left to right.
He was swaying?
Yes, swaying, Governor, this presidency, if it's mine to give, nobody will give, nobody but you. But you see, there are some committee that set to work, and the committee has finished assessment, and you just missed it. It was in the you missed it just like this. To your brother, this young man. Say, who is this? Say, this is Governor. This is Governor.
So he was trying to remember his name?
Yes. So I thanked him. I said, look, Mr. President, power comes from God. And he said, nothing, it's okay. But do me a favor, I told him. I said, I have children. And I have very, very close well-wishers. I owe them a duty of some level of disclosure to them. What will I tell them? Or they just hear, he contested, I got this side, and they suddenly feel, what happened? I'd like to. So he got up from his seat, and there's a voluminous by the corner, took it, and a lot of pagination. The big, some kind of, don't call it file, some kind of compilations. And there was some pagination, and people just picked the one Governor Abdullahi Adamu, that's how I did. All that is on it. Abdullahi Adamu, very loyal governor.
So it's like a security report.
He was a very loyal governor. He launched school feeding program. That's the only thing they had on me. I launched school feeding program, which was himself, commissioned here.
So what was wrong with school feeding?
No, I think it was supposed to be the good thing I did.
Okay.
Just learn school program. That's all there is.
Okay.
And then went on to say something like, but he should leave it for younger ones. That's all on the page. Nothing.
Okay. So the key decision is he wanted a younger successor.
He said, I should leave it. I should leave it for younger ones.
Yeah. So is it fair to
So I-
say
so-
that
so I thanked him
politics
and
is
left.
full of this kind of disappointment? I think in Senate you are also actually expecting to be the majority leader. It didn't happen
It didn't
that
happen.
way.
That one, the person who was then the sitting president of the Senate believed very strongly that he told me himself I was too much for him.
So he didn't want you higher up.
Yes, he said if they knew they wanted to make me Senate vice president, they should have made me the Senate president and made him the Senate. He would be contented with that. He didn't want it. He fought it. He didn't succeed. But overnight, found a way to change it. And when they came to the floor, they were reading the letter from the party, and I didn't hear my name as the party leader.
It's the party is majority leader.
I applauded, and I left my seat. I went and congratulated the one that they gave to. I said, thank you, congratulations. I went back to my seat.
I think people were very surprised that Buhari favored you as chairman of the APC. It looked as if others were ahead in the campaign, and then suddenly we heard your name.
Yeah. Well, you see,
what
Malam Kabiru, I said it at the beginning of the program, I try to pray to my God as much as is humanly possible. I should stay on track with the teaching of the Quran and the Hadith as much as possible. And in Islam, you don't go ask for leadership. You don't do it.
Did Buhari call you to say?
No, wait. So when this thing started, my name was being thrown out here and there. I refused to react. I said nothing to anybody. Somehow, the story had it, and I didn't take Buhari, I knew this until when I went to visit him. When I went to visit him, after I stepped down, he told the governors. He tried to be as democratic as he could. He asked the governor to bring proposals for the chairmanship. But before they did this, the party had made me chairman of the Reconciliation Committee after Adamu Shimole's administration. Unknown to me, he was following my efforts from state to state. Unknown to me. There was never linkage between me and him on the issue of my reconciliation effort. Nobody said it to me. Somehow, when he now talked to them about the governors, they had their agenda, the governors. They didn't see me playing to their agenda.
Right.
They wanted the presidency to go down south. If they won't get the presidency, at least one of them will get the vice president. That was the calculation. Anyway, they jotted some names, about 10 names to him. They didn't send it, he came to a meeting with him, and so he said, these are, they say, yes. So why is this person? I said, well, who? This guy in the Senate, this person in the Senate is a senator. He's always in the Senate, always making contributions to the senator, always supporting us. What's his name again? This senator from, I think he's from Nasarawa.
So these leaders, they forget names at the right time.
You see, I'm recalling how they presented to me.
Yes.
Then they said, I'm Makura? I said, no. Abdullahi Adamu? I said, yes. So he picked a pen from his front chest pocket, and on top of their list, he wrote, Senator Abdullahi Adamu. That was supposed to be an indication as to his interest. That very day, that very afternoon, rather than day, one or two of them came
To you.
to me. Congratulations, this is the president.
They've seen the...
The
indication.
president's indication, inclination.
You had a good tenure.
I still took no steps. The same them went, still continued. They wanted to, I was too old for chairmanship. All manner of, criticisms and what have you. Somehow, the president stuck. That's what he wanted.
Stuck to his guns.
And at the very last meeting they had on the issue, he said to them, look, when you had congresses in your states, tell me, who did I send to Enugu to? A name that I wanted him to make him whatever. All of you. Nobody did. And I want one person. I am the chair, the president, elected by this party. I can't have my way to have a chairman. Okay, you can go. We'll go to the convention. I will go from pavilion to campaign for Abdullahi Adamu. That's just it.
Yeah, that did it.
So they had some withdrawals.
You mentioned this business of, or the agenda of the governors for a southern president, which of course fits with their own, because then one of them becomes. Were you yourself thinking the presidency should be open to everybody?
To be honest with you, that is my inclination. But I wanted to win the election. I never, without being immodest, I never lost an election.
Yeah.
And I saw what was going on in the country. And of course,
So
party leadership is a collective responsibility.
If you didn't have a strong northern candidate, then he takes the votes in the
If from my consultations and from advice I was getting, if I had a northern, I'll go for a northern, yes. And no apologies for that.
Yeah.
But I have never hidden this.
Yeah, but this thing about Ahmed Lawal, was this an initiative that you just took out of your own conviction as party chairman, or was this something also?
Well, a party chairman has a role, right?
Yes.
But I can't, with a ruling party,
Yes.
take it upon myself just to go and float Ahmed Lawal's name.
Yes.
You know it.
Yes, I do.
And
The rest, curious.
The rest, well, of course, I take responsibility as a party chairman.
Yes.
I take responsibility, yes.
But it's not your decision.
Nobody in his senses of maturity, of politics and governance, will say yes because I'm with the chairman of the party. I just got up. This is my presidential candidate. It's just, it doesn't add up.
But that didn't seem to be a process. The announcement just came from you, and the governors were there.
Of course, there were processes. I don't want to go back on that and recall A for A. Well, time will avail that opportunity, I'm sure. And what I detested about this whole setting was that people who wanted to win favors with our president, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, continue saying there was a cold war between me and him. I'm making so much capital out of it. I am an establishment person. From my root, from birth, I come from a royal family. And I'm proud of it. And I was born at a time when there is a northern Nigeria, or there was a northern Nigeria. I was brought into its values. I was brought up in its values. Even though I worked mainly in the private sector, I saw myself first and foremost as a northerner in Nigeria. And I have no apologies to anybody on this. But times are changing. You want to take account as people who have the same feeling, have the same attitude, who have the same commitment, the same loyalty as to that is north, you have a problem. Go down south. Go to southwest. People aren't ashamed of beating their chests and telling you who they are and where they come from and what they stand for. Go to the east. Till today we're losing lives in the east for what they believed in. Not here.
So you feel maybe your fellow politicians from the north really kind of backed out from...
I believe very strongly that they should have done better than they did. But I have no regrets. The reason I have no regret is only that which God wills will happen.
Yeah.
God has made Ahmed Bola Tinubu president of this country. And the moment he won in the convention, I led the National Working Committee in its entirety. Not one member was missing to his residence. A day or so or two to congratulate him. And to give all the assurance we stand shoulder to shoulder with him, to work with him for the success of the party. And we did.
Yeah.
No matter what anybody will say about my relationship with Tinubu,
Yeah.
he may go ahead and say whatever. The fact remains that under my watch, under my leadership, the APC won its election and have a president sitting there. And I like Tinubu for one thing. When I last saw him before, after my resignation, he referred to himself as, this bouncing baby boy was delivered by you. And he made my day.
Yeah. But why did you resign?
Well, I think, you see, politics is more than just what happened to one or two persons. Politics is the amalgamation of actions and reactions. And you have to find your bearing in them. I feel I have played a part of leadership. I was a minister in this country. I was a governor in this country. I was secretary board of trustees of a ruling party in this country. I have led this party called APC to victory, deliver a whole new government to succeed President Buhari's government. President Buhari nominated me, so to say, before the governors, and I went to the convention and I was elected at the convention. I remain ever grateful to him. And I remain grateful to Almighty God for ensuring that I succeeded. And that after him, he is having to hand over government to his fellow party man and his friend, for that matter.
So now, are we to say that finally, Senator Abdullahi Adamu is done with politics? You've been in it for 45 years. Are you retired now?
Between me and you and God, I wish this question didn't come, because I had prepared myself to talk to Nigerians about the fact that it's high time. We now go back where we come from, or where we came from. You can't go on and on and on and on. I thank God. At my age, I still enjoy some really good health. I thank God I can live. I have what I will eat for the rest of my life, I hope. I have what I will wear for the rest of my life, I hope. I have what I will, house, shelter I can be in for the rest of my life, I hope. I don't have one property anywhere in the world that I'm renting to somebody for revenue. They don't have. I have only one other house here. My children are in it. And the other one I built in 1982. I'm trying to put up some business there. My business there.
You don't have in Abuja?
I have
which
the
is
Abuja property, yes. That's why I say now. Apart from that, no. I have the property I built in 1986 in Jos.
Yeah.
I've been looking for a buyer. I couldn't get. I gave it out. A house and a property, undeveloped property.
Yeah.
So that's me. I'm hoping now we are putting together a university by the grace of God. That is my dream.
Here in Lafia?
No,
sorry, Kefi?
No, in Aguada here.
Okay.
It should be under Kefi. It's Aguada.
Right.
But it's now under Kokwana local government during Murtala's administration.
How is your farming business? You're a well-known farmer. How is it going?
I had thought we'd have this interview on the farm. I mentioned it to the gentleman who was. I wish I can take you one of these days.
Yes, of course.
If you have time to the farm. Then
Is it going well? Because our impression is that people start farm in a big way, and then really.
No, my farm is growing somehow.
I see.
It's still growing. I have now
started. Good managers, because at the time I saw your farm, it was managed by a Kenyan.
Yeah, wow, that's a long time.
That's a long
time. That's a long time, yeah.
Yes.
Paul. That's a
The
long time.
Kenyan.
One tallish guy.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Yes.
So, I mean, are you able to get managers to run it well?
Well, I haven't been lucky with managers.
What? That's the story.
Yes, and one of the good things happening to me now is that now that I'm not having anybody's responsibility on my shoulders, I can have time.
And your children are managers there.
Well, one of them, yes. Two of them, yes. But
They're not- they're young people.
No, they're not into
Yeah.
this.
Yes.
They're not so much into this. But I try to see that I don't force them. But I want to see that I rub a bit of interest in their minds as
How
much
is
as.
family life for you?
Well, I have.
You have married quite a few times.
Yes, I have 6 children.
Yeah.
I have 2 girls and 4 boys.
Right.
My first child is an architect.
Yeah.
My second one is a mechanical engineer,
Right.
so with a master's degree. My third one is an accountant. It's a lady. She did accountancy and finance. Then I have another one that read business administration. Yeah. My 5th child read geography.
Right.
My last born,
These are the younger ones.
yes, my last born
Yes.
is just going to primary 3 now.
Yeah. How is your usual day? Now you're out of the hali-bali of politics.
Yeah.
Is it boring? Do you find it really?
Well, maybe I haven't gone to that stage yet. Up till now, I'm in a honeymoon of retirement,
Okay.
if you permit.
Yeah, okay.
I love now the time I have for my farm. I love now not having to wake up 8 o'clock because I'm
Yeah,
planning. I don't want to be a leader and be late in office, that kind of stuff. You know, I go to bed when I want to go to bed.
Yeah.
There's no compulsion as to a duty to see somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
That used to be on my shoulders.
Yeah.
So I go to bed and I wake up for my morning prayers.
Yeah.
And once I finish with my morning prayers, I go back to bed.
Right.
And on average, I leave the bed around 9 o'clock.
Right.
Then prepare myself to come and sit out here.
Yeah.
Maybe go and see the emir, because I'm a member of the Emirate Council.
Yeah. The Turaki of
Yes,
the,
yes. And then maybe there are some deaths in town
Yeah.
that I come to my knowledge. I have to go and come sympathize, and I'm to come condole people here or in the neighborhood Nasarawa or life here, that kind of thing. Everything important that is happening, as long as it's devoid of partisanship.
Yeah.
Because I'll be making statements soon
Yeah.
about my intention to
Yeah.
to make public my
Right.
gratitude to Almighty God,
Thank you.
and to say, look, it's time.
We would not want to
It's time to
preempt
go.
that.
Yes.
I think I'd
Yeah.
like to
And so-
thank you for giving us this opportunity to go into a long life. And viewers, I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Senator Abdullahi Adamu. Until we meet in another episode of Reminiscences, thank you and goodbye.